Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Well, I tell you what, we had a shock come across the news waves about Lindsey Graham and his sudden passing. And we're going to talk about that and a lot of other things that's going on. Iran is getting pounded as we speak. Relentless pounding, and things are about to happen. Things are about to happen. There are investigations that we've been told about, but is not reported about with the regularity one would expect, considering the seriousness of the issues by the mainstream media. So, but we're going to talk about it, and arrests are expected for a number of things. So anyway, folks, Donald Trump has ordered the flags to be flown at half-staff. I've got a little inset video there of the flags being flown at the White House at half-staff till Saturday, all week for Lindsey Graham. And how many times have I played this video? And really just recently in the past month or so. But very odd. And I'll play it again to remind you all that Lindsey Graham reminded a lot of people about how our government is supposed to work. And everybody take your time, get a cup of coffee, a cold brouhaha, or an adult beverage, and get ready to settle in. And then what will we do? We'll be like butter and get on a roll.
So when somebody says post 9/11 that we've been at war and it's called the war on terrorism, do you generally agree with that concept?
I do, Senator, because Congress passed the authorization for use of military force, which is still in effect, and that was passed, of course, on September 14th, 2001, 3 days later.
Let's talk about the law in war. Is there a body of law called the law of armed conflict?
There is such a body, Senator.
Is there a body of law that's called basic criminal law?
Yes, Senator.
Are there differences between those two bodies of law?
Yes, Senator.
From an American citizen's point of view, do your constitutional rights follow you? If you're in Paris, does the Fourth Amendment protect you as an American from your own government?
From your own government, yes.
Okay. So if you're in Afghanistan, do your constitutional rights protect you against your own government?
If you're an American in Afghanistan, you have constitutional rights as against the U.S. government.
Is there a long-standing...
That's
Right.
long-settled law.
Isn't there also a long-settled law that it goes back to the Eisentrager case? I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, Johnson versus Eisentrager.
Right. That American citizens who collaborate with the enemy have considered enemy combatants.
They can be.
Can be.
They can be. They're sometimes criminally prosecuted, sometimes treated in the military.
Well, let's talk about can be. I think
under Supreme Court precedent.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a Supreme Court decision that said that American citizens who collaborated with Nazi saboteurs were tried by the military. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I think a couple of them were executed.
Yeah.
So if anybody doubts, there's a long-standing history in this country that your constitutional rights follow you wherever you go, but you don't have a constitutional right to turn on your own government and collaborate with the enemy of the nation. You'll be treated differently. What's the name of the case, if you can recall, that reaffirmed the concept that you could hold one of our own as an enemy combatant if they were engaged in terrorist?
I was the hunted, and now I'm the hunter. Storm zone.
Yes, sir. I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Now think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like.
DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn, and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he perceives as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. Yes, we will take care of it. Boy, isn't the climate ripe for all the clickbaiters out there. Oh, I'm telling you, the videos are flying. We'll talk about that. Hi, Tammy. How you doing? KNS Cleanup. Thank you for going by buy me a coffee this evening. And Younger Gang, Tammy and them finished up last week with an exclamation point. Ha ha, remember that? Hi, Sherry. Sissy's here. Nice to see you, Sandman. Robin also went by buy me a coffee this week. Darla, nice to see you. Let's see. Who else came in? Wayne, also part of the coffee crowd this week. Ha ha ha. Nice to see you. Let's see. Dean's here. Who's a donkey? I don't know what you're talking about, Dean. I don't. Miss Mendersu dropped a Moab this week on Buy Me a Coffee. Also, Elva's here. Nice to see you, Elva. Cole's here. There's a whole Younger Gangs together. We got Kim, Sherry. Let's see. Haha. Who else is coming in? Do I sound like Yosemite Sam? Anyway. Oh, from the donkey to the camel. Oh, yeah. All right, Dean, I get what you're saying now, bro. Sparky, nice to see you. Kay Rhodes, welcome aboard. Nice to see you. Randy, how you doing, buddy? Still hanging in there. It's good to hear, buddy. All right. Frank, you're here for tonight. That's good. Come on in, shake off your skin, and rattle around in your bones. Griffin, S. Griffin, I guess you're what's up. Ha ha ha. So, anyway, let me see who else came in. Sweet Daydreams, how are you doing? Yeah. No, Sweet Daydreams. Lindsey Graham didn't die in Kiev. They picked him up in an ambulance. Yeah, he's documented back in America. You're going to get, listen, some of these people that want to take your precious time, it's all about the clicks, okay? Clicks equal money. Right, Rebecca? Be careful. Be careful who you follow. And hi, Flannel Cheese. Nice to see you. And so you're gonna hear, my God, you're gonna hear so many different things. But reality is what we're into here. And it's not to say that so much of our lives have been shenanigans, dark deeds, cover-ups, conspiracy theories. So yeah, people have a predilection for that, but you can't fall into a lifestyle where everything, hi Melinda, everything is some dark plot. He was 71 years old. He had arteriosclerosis or whatever, hardening of the arteries. You know, I'll tell you what is one of the worst things you can do is fly for long periods of time. Changes altitude, blood pressure, barometric pressure, air pressure, sea level versus 10,000 feet. Puts a heck of a toll on your cardiovascular system. But anyway, I do want to thank, I got to get my booms ready. I got most people, Robin, KNS, Wayne, Mike and Bear, pow, and Miss Menders who helping out this week with buy me a coffee, pow. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Yeah. Now, when I first heard about it, I saw a clip where Lindsey Graham was in Kiev talking to Zelensky. And here's different articles. So look at Midas trash. Now, I'll tell you what, he looked rough when he was in Kiev. And I saw him on a talk show about a week ago. And I said to myself, gee, you know, he looks a little haggard. You know, not the long, drunk look, worried look of these kooky liberals, you know, when they know the wall's closing in. Not that kind of look. He just looked tired. And I didn't think much of it. But anyway, I mean, how long has it been since he passed away? Just barely over 24 hours, if that. Trump talked to him about 7-ish, 7:30. Shortly thereafter, they got the call. And here's what Midas Trash Network is, how they're spinning it. Sunday message. Trump is exploiting Lindsey Graham's death to distract from his escalating war with Iran. My God, the man hadn't even been dead 24 hours. Trump's the president of the United States. Lindsey Graham's a long-serving senator on committees and got a lot of power and been around a long time. And Trump can't phone in to talk to the news? Are you people out of your damn minds? That's why I call him Midas Trash. And that's when you're scraping the bottom of the barrel. But I'll tell you what, all the conspiracy theories that are going on now, going to be going on, I think the first time in a long time, nobody's blaming Israel. So I'm sure they'll try to figure out how to wiggle that in somehow. Anyway, here's Lindsey Graham. One of the last times he was on video. He's in Ukraine. It's brief. And I don't have the clip of one I want to talk about, but I do know what he said. But anyway, let me go ahead and play this.
I'm pleased to announce, as of about 30 minutes ago, we've reached agreement with the White House on a version of the Russian sanctions bill that they will support. It means it's going to become law. So when I get back to Washington, I'm going to go with Senator Blumenthal to the Republican and Democratic leader to see if we can find time to move this Russian sanctions package that would give tools to President Trump to help end this war.
Yeah, they were going to pass a sanctions package and give Trump some unilateral powers. And he also said to Zelensky and to the cameras that they're going to have a process where they don't humiliate Putin, but they make Ukraine stronger and find an end to the war. And that made my antennas go up. Before we got news from the coroner. And, before people start saying, well, it was a paid off coroner. Listen, Andrews Air Force Base is very close by, and you can believe that the people that needed to be around him for an autopsy were there. We're talking high level. High level security is needed in these situations. And it's kind of hard to cause a tear in the aorta. And but before I heard about the tear in the aorta, I heard that part about, well, we're not going to humiliate Russia, and we're going to make Ukraine stronger for the future. Diplomatic speak for, listen, you're not going to retake Crimea. You're not going to invade Moscow. First of all, it's impossible. Second of all, the war is going to come to an end. And the hard heads over in Ukraine didn't like that. And I thought, well, maybe they slipped him a Mickey. Because there are documented cases, and it's been going on since the 70s and 80s, where, yes, they have ways of inserting certain substances that mimic a heart attack, delayed reaction, 20 minutes, half hour after somebody gets tagged with it, they go into cardiac arrest. And people say, oh, it's undetectable. No, there's so very little things that are, there isn't anything undetectable. They talk about like chloroform dissipates from the body and you can't spot it. No, if people know what to look for, you can't make things disappear like a magic trick. It's undetectable if they don't know what to look for. It's a rare combination or rare chemical. So, but if they know what to look for, there's going to be something trace, either of the element itself or of the cause and symptoms that causes, that's distinct. And you can't slip somebody a Mickey and have their aorta rip open. Hi, Pappy Two Bears. How you doing? Brush, how you doing? Jet lag, nice to see you. Welcome aboard. Yeah, him and Blumenthal were. I'm not big on this business of senators going abroad. And I think it's we have ambassadors. They can talk to diplomats. They can ask to meet with foreign dignitaries if they wish. But to go travel abroad and meet with who the hell ever they want, fact-finding mission, no. Axe Hammers. He just died natural causes. He's old. And it was hanky-panky. We'll never know anyway. Yeah, I just talked about that. They have a device, but you can detect it. It's not like it's they do have a heart attack GUN, like the kind people speculate was used on Andrew Breitbart. And some people say, on Dwight D. Eisenhower. So, yeah, but people are going to go that way, are going to at least consider that there was dark deeds done, because they've done so many dark deeds. And so, yeah, 71's not that old, but if you have advanced how do you say it? Arteriosclerosis, or whatever they call it, hardening of the arteries. Listen, if anybody, I'll tell you who I thought. Let me tell you, who do you all think I would blame it on? Those of you who have listened to me for a long time, I'll put his picture up. Who would I blame it on? Yeah, actually, you're right. You're right. 70's young, but heart disease. I've told you all how I had friends 6 months after they got their first Social Security check at, 62? They're gone. And one guy reading a newspaper, and his wife came in a room, and he was sitting in the easy chair with a newspaper on his chest, and he was gone. Like he laid the paper down on his chest while he was reading it and closed his eyes and died. And, it happened to a number of my friends. It's like flicking a switch. And I'll tell you what, he probably had passed before he hit the ground. Hi, Greg, how you doing? He probably passed before he hit the ground. An aorta, tear in the aorta, all your blood gets pumped into your abdominal cavity or your lung area, and your circulation pretty much stops. John Ritter. How old was John Ritter when he passed away? Because he died from the exact same thing. K. Rhodes, see, you put the KILLED word in along with C.I.A. all the stuff that gets my channel flagged. So I removed your comment. Any more careless comments like that, and you're not going to be allowed to comment. Who's this K. Rhodes person? I'm not going to sit here all night long and take your comments down. You're obviously an idiot. So you're out of here. I'll have conversations with people, but making ignorant comments and putting in words that violate trust and safety, it's not my rules. It's YouTube's. So there's thousands of channels on YouTube you can act like an ass on. Go do that. Hi, Brush. How you doing? And I've had good conversations with people that don't agree with me or whatever. So anyway, my point was, how old was John Ritter when he passed away? Does anybody know? Can somebody? I usually say no goggling, but yeah, I'd like somebody to goggle it. John Ritter. He's the one who played on Three's Company. Am I right about that? Three's Company. He played on. He played the GAY guy on Sling Blade. I think it was one of his last movies, wasn't it? And he died. Nobody knew what happened. Everybody's like, "What the hell?" And he died from Jack Tripper. Yeah, his that was his stage name, right? And his John Ritter. I don't know. I'm asking. I can't Google it, guys. I'm on with you all. But that's exactly what everybody was shocked. I mean, he just said, "Wow, I feel woozy," and bloom, he hit the ground. Nobody knew what to do, and he was gone by the time paramedics got there. Everybody was like, "Whoa!" And they found his aorta tore. 54. Wanda and Todd say 54. Yeah. So 71, we've seen, well, many of you all have seen the Morticians. I got to be careful how I say this. I got rid of them this minute too. Well, I got to be careful how I say this. They had Morticians showing blockages in the veins, right? they were using tweezers, and they pull out this stuff look like spaghetti. Remember that? 6 days before his 55th birthday. Wow. Well, anyway, so I thought it was going to be a blockage, but it's not. It's a rupture of the aorta. There's nothing. If somebody was standing right there, if it was happening in the operating room, he'd been gone. It's just that quick. So anyway, I'm trying to see what maybe, but that's not to say I'm ruling out, because people are saying Russia did it because he said mean things about Russia. But lately he was saying, we're not going to humiliate Putin, but we're going to make you stronger, so there won't be any more incursions. I'm sure acting on Trump's guidance and direction to say, look, we gotta draw some new lines here and put a stop to this. So Putin wouldn't want him out of there. Israel wouldn't want him out of there. So I'm thinking it was the hardheads in Ukraine, but then I heard it was a busted aorta. But who would I still think might have had a hand in it? Before I put his picture up. Hi, Frank. Not Mossad. Why? He was a friend of Israel. No, not Mossad. You're right. No, not them at all. Why does everybody want to blame Israel for everything? This Charlie Kirk, you see that freak go up there and actually they got video of him laying on the roof and taking a shot. No, he's a patsy. My patience is gone with that. My patience is gone. Okay, I'm seeing some guesses. I'll go ahead and put the picture up. Right there. Long-term degradation. Be careful what you put in the chats. Long-term degradation of the cardiovascular system. Like Todd was saying, those clots were 3 feet, 2 feet long, but this wasn't clots. But he was a masker. He was a masker. And did he get the Jabberwocky? I believe so. I believe he did. And I don't think it helps your cardiovascular system is flexible. It's living. Your veins are a living organ that has to stretch. And you need cholesterol to keep it slick and flexible and to patch damage and cracks in your... What happens in hardening the arteries is just what it is. Your veins get stiff and brittle. And when you have high blood pressure, constantly putting pressure on the walls of your arteries, especially changes of altitude, long-term changes in altitude. I'll tell you who else died of a sudden heart attack. And you all can look up how old he was. And he just got back from entertaining the troops in Korea. one of the most famous singers in the world. One of the most famous singers in the world. And he started entertaining troops in different theaters like Bob Hope. I could have pulled a picture of him getting out of a plane, a video clip of him getting out of the plane, getting back to America from Korea, and he was like, "Oh, I'm tired," and he died like hours later. One of the most famous singers in the entire world. Who am I talking about? Well, Elvis didn't die from a heart attack entertaining troops. Say Toby Keith. Hi, say Toby Keith. Springsteen's still alive, Mr. Sue. Al Jolson. Who's got their Google going? How old was Al Jolson when he died? I did a whole video about him. I'd walk 1,000,000 miles for one of your smiles for my Mammy. Who saw that video? I'd walk 1,000,000 miles. I did it for Mother's Day. Mammy, my little Mammy. The sun shines east, the sun shines west, but I know where the sun shines best. Mammy. How old was he? Nobody's goggling. Now, if I didn't want people to goggle, they'd be goggling. "64. Thank you, Todd. 64 years old. He did the first talkie movie called The Jazz Singer. The Jazz Singer. Al Jolson. When April showers. I sang one of his songs when I was talking about When Do Birds Sing. So anyway, so 71, having that kind of disease and passing away at 71 is, I just gave you two examples. One that was many years younger, 64, that'd be a 7-year difference, 7 years younger. Now, don't forget that Lindsey Graham served 33 years in the United States Air Force. So he may have had a little sugar in his gas tank. I don't know. But he talked about 3 relationships he had that were serious, but he never got married. And one of them, I think her name was Debbie. She was a JAG officer because Lindsey Graham instructed JAG officers. Did you all know that? He was a judge, advocate, general, instructor for like 10 years or more with a 33-year history in the Air Force. And he had 3 long-term relationships with women. But, you know, people say what they say. And I saw a video where he was saying, well, they call me Uncle Lindsey in Iran. And Iran is putting up, these citizens are sneaking up posters and signs giving their respects and condolences for Lindsey Graham. And they did call him Uncle Lindsey, even though his detractors called him Aunt Lindsey here in America. And he even posted a copy of one of the pictures himself. This was 5 days ago. Lindsey Graham. At least they used a good photo of me. Come on, screen. What in the world? There we go. Judge me by my enemies. That's what Republican Guard was putting up in Iran. But Rick Grinnell, Scott Bessent, okay, you wouldn't know it because they don't push it on people. But word on the street is that they're, you got some sugar in their gas tank. But I'm saying, Lindsey Graham, this picture I used as my thumbnail. Donald Trump posted just before I went live and said, so sad. Let me find it. Here's where Trump put it up right here. So sad. President DJT. There he is. Real Donald Trump. And how many times did I say Trump said he's always there when you need him? Now, some people can read into that. Well, maybe he wasn't needed anymore and somebody knocked him off. But I can tell you what, even in the best plans, SH and that's it happens. There are things that happen that you can't control. You have to factor in things you cannot control. You have to expect the unexpected. In this case, the governor of the state will appoint a, what would they call him back in the day? To fill in a vacancy for a king, I'd just say a temporary person. So let me see if I got play some reports here. Here we go. Let's see. Here we go. Fox News.
And what happens in South Carolina. So the seat will be declared vacant by Henry McMaster, the governor of South Carolina. And what they will start to do immediately then, and what I've been told, is that, you can appoint to the Senate. So they would probably appoint somebody, and the question is whether or not they appoint a caretaker senator. And in other words, somebody who's just there, who's not going to run for the seat and is going to serve out the balance of Senator Graham's term, which would end on January 3rd. He had already secured the Republican nomination for another term, a fifth term this fall. And so they would have to have some sort of a snap or lightning primary, I'm told, sometime in the next 5 to 6 weeks. And then that person would be the Republican nominee and would face Democrat Annie Andrews, who's already been nominated in the fall. It's a Republican state. It probably stays in Republican hands. Now, the question is about the who. After that, somebody I would look at who was on our air last hour is Russell Fry, a Republican from South Carolina. You also have 2 members of the South Carolina delegation. It's not a very big delegation, who ran for other things, ran for governor, Nancy Mace and Ralph Norman. They lost those primary fights, and they're going to be out of the House here pretty soon. And I'm sure that there will be consultation between President Trump and Governor McMaster as to who they both want and how they want to do this and who their preferred candidate is. Do they prefer perhaps maybe to appoint somebody who then could run for the primary and then serve out the term? Sometimes there's advantages there. But if they were to appoint somebody from the House, and again, you would take...
McMaster should appoint himself. And Trump has already gave his opinion of Nancy Mace. Not happy with her at all. And before Trump gave his opinion of Nancy Mace, I said she was going to end up like another Marjorie Taylor Greene and another Lauren Boebert. Now, Boebert may have changed her tune and done some self-reflection, but no, I don't think we need Nancy Mace. Donald Trump doesn't want her. That means I don't want her. I think McMaster should appoint himself, and the term is steward, a steward. Do you remember the Lord of the Rings when they went to, what was the city, Minas Tirith or whatever it was, Gondor? Where was Gondor? Anyway, the one who wanted to just give up the ship and have run for your lives. Gandalf said, "You're a mere steward." So he'll be a steward. Forget Nikki Haley. Oh my God. She is a no-go. I mean, we are, figuratively speaking, throw rocks at her. Figuratively speaking. If she comes around, just throw rocks at her. Here's a reminder. Citizen Free Press put this up. Memorable photograph of late Senator Lindsey Graham laughing at a leftist protester during Kavanaugh hearings. Look at her back there screaming. And Lindsey Graham's like, yeah, we got one. We got a live one here. And don't forget how he came, not only with the video I showed at the beginning of this live stream. And if you hadn't seen it at the end, make sure you watch it at the beginning. Because it defines an unlawful combatant and what happens to them if you go against your own country, especially during times of armed conflict. Don't ever forget this moment. And Donald Trump mentioned it when he was on the news programs. Probably one of the finest moments in Senate history, at least modern televised Senate history.
Are you aware that at 9:23 on the night of July the 9th, the day you were nominated to the Supreme Court by President Trump, Senator Schumer said, 23 minutes after your nomination, I will oppose Judge Kavanaugh's nomination with everything I have. I have a bipartisan, and I hope a bipartisan majority will do the same. The stakes are simply too high for anything less. Well, if you weren't aware of it, you are now. Did you meet with Senator Dianne Feinstein on August 20th?
I did meet with Senator Feinstein.
Did you know that her staff had already recommended a lawyer to Dr. Ford?
I did not know that.
Did you know that her and her staff had this allegations for over 20 days?
I did not know that at the time.
If you wanted an FBI investigation, you could have come to us. What you want to do is destroy this guy's life, hold this seat open, and hope you win in 2020. You've said that, not me. You've got nothing to apologize for. When you see Sotomayor and Kagan, tell them that Lindsey said hello, because I voted for them. I would never do to them what you've done to this guy. This is the most unethical sham since I've been in politics. And if you really wanted to know the truth, you sure as hell wouldn't have done what you've done to this guy. Are you a gang rapist?
No.
I cannot imagine what you and your family have gone through. Boy, y'all want power. God, I hope you never get it. I hope the American people can see through this sham, that you knew about it and you held it. You had no intention of protecting Dr. Ford. None. She's as much of a victim as you are. God, I hate to say it because these have been my friends. But let me tell you, when it comes to this, you're looking for a fair process. You came to the wrong town at the wrong time, my friend. Do you consider this a job interview?
The advice and consent role is like a job interview.
You consider that you've been through a job interview?
I've been through a process of advice and consent under the Constitution. Which
Would you say you've been through hell?
I've been through hell and then some.
This is not a job interview.
Yeah.
This is hell.
This
is going to destroy the ability of good people to come forward because of this crap. Your high school yearbook. You have interacted with professional women all your life, not one accusation. You're supposed to be Bill Cosby when you're a junior and senior in high school. And all of a sudden you got over it. It's been my understanding that if you drug women and rape them for 2 years in high school, you probably don't stop. Here's my understanding. If you lived a good life, people would recognize it, like the American Bar Association has the gold standard. His integrity is absolutely unquestioned. He is the very circumspect in his personal conduct, harbors no biases or prejudices. He's entirely ethical, is a really decent person. He is warm, friendly, unassuming. He's the nicest person. The ABA. The one thing I can tell you should be proud of, Ashley, you should be proud of this, that you raised a daughter who had the good character to pray for Dr. Ford. To my Republican colleagues, if you vote no, you're legitimizing the most despicable thing I have seen in my time in politics. You want this seat? I hope you never get it. I hope you're on the Supreme Court. That's exactly where you should be. And I hope that the American people will see through this charade. And I wish you well, and I intend to vote for you, and I hope everybody who's fair-minded will.
Yeah, that was a heck of a presentation. What was that senator who got stopped in the elevator by Occasional Cortex and her little illegal alien assistant screaming and yelling at him? Where did he go? His name started with an F. What was his name? Weird last name. He just disappeared, didn't he? His little game got called out by Lindsey Graham. So, yeah, that was a historical dressing down. And Christine Blasey Ford, he came to her aid a little bit. Gave her a little bit of cover, Graham did. But I tell you what, in my opinion, for her to get up there on the stand and say the things she did about Kavanaugh, like a juvenile, all she was missing was a big bow in her hair and one of those swirly lollipops. Right?
Well, I was afraid to tell my mother I was out with boys and a boy kissed me.
Acting like a juvenile. Supposed to be a doctor.
And I have an injury to my cerebellum.
No, her and this other one, what's her face? That's accused Trump, and they twisted the law. What's her name? E. Jean Carroll. I think both of them should be in jail. Both of them. For fraud. For being frauds. Yeah, Jeff Flake. Yeah, that's it, Todd. Whatever, he's gone, right? Right after that, he's gone. That was the end of his Senate career. And Lindsey Graham's the one who ended it. Jeff Flake. So, Trump marches on, though. You know, it's sad, it's terrible, but you got to keep going. You got to keep going. And, you know, before Lindsey Graham died, we were dealing with the Iranian upstarts, the hardheads there in Iran. Oh, here's a picture of the helicopter, the two helicopters that buzzed the beach and people loved it. Yay! And there's a little boy with a flag. Isn't that a nice picture? Look at him. Look at Junior there, standing there with a flag and two Apache helicopters. He helped those pilots get off the hook. I talked about that the other night. I just figured I'd put this picture up. But anyway, like I said, life goes on. You got to keep marching on. And Iran started its crap up, and Trump's doing just what he said he was going to do, which is stomp the hell out of them. And that's what's happening right now, probably as we speak, because it was hours of unrelenting bombing going on. When I went live, I just got report after report after report of all these places being hit. But just before that, you had U.S. and Iran may resume talks next week in Switzerland. So the civilian arm, to whatever extent they can, were open to trying to patch the cracks. a Qatari delegation has reportedly visited Iran in coordination with the United States in an effort to reduce tensions. But somebody fired on another commercial vessel. And Trump's had enough. So I'll get to those reports of the bombings in a minute. But Trump was putting up pictures like this after Lindsay passed away. That would have made a good thumbnail. Because remember the term rigged for red? Rigged for red. How many of you all remember that term from the 17th letter? Rigged for red. And the Hunt for Red October, all those posts. And I went through and I watched the movie Red October. And they actually say, rigged for red, sir. And I said, well, that tells you what rigged for red means. Because they were getting ready to attack the Red October. And Alec Baldwin's character talked him out of it at the last second. It means going in attack mode. And you see this picture Trump posted with the red highlights. That means we're rigged for red. We're going in. We're gonna bash them up. And bash them up we are. We're attacking regular army barracks, which we haven't done. He put up another picture of a jet. I got it in here somewhere. So, plus Iranian Republican guards. Here's the other jet he put up. Here's the other jet. Plus Iranian Republican Guard. Plus a nuclear facility. They say 40 megawatt. Nuclear facility, airports, barracks on multiple different army bases. They're flushing the regular army out of their bases. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? They can't go back and go to sleep at the bases anymore. The Republican Guard won't share their secure facilities with them. They'll have to go into the population. And what's going to happen there? Like-minded people. All right, they're going to start talking with like-minded people. And that's not good for Iran. The Republican Guard. Trump posted this picture. He's opened, Trump hadn't opened it up, but the Justice Department has opened up an investigation, well, the Department of Defense, really, into the security leaks over Air Force One. Is that why Trump posted this picture? They're investigating because the media. I'll get to that report in a minute and tell you what I think's going on. It may tie into why he switched planes. And I believe that Trump really wanted to show up in the plane you see. All right, as a symbol of cooperation between Arab nations and the United States, and to project power and might, not show up in a almost 40-year-old rinky-dink. So what made people insist on changing up planes? It's being investigated, whatever it is. But here's some good news. I don't want to put all bad news up. Speaking of planes, you don't see any leftist news, which is all of them. You might say all of them. Here's a post from the Vice President the media is totally ignoring. Let's go. ICE bought 6 Boeing 737s to create their own 24/7 dedicated airline for deporting illegal aliens. This is what I voted for. You remember posts in 17 about guardians? Guardians of what was the question? Well, I see a lot of posts from CNN, The Sun, Telegraph, all these other, but I hadn't seen too many posts from The Guardian. But I'm seeing them now. I saw 2 today, and I hadn't seen any in weeks. What, they're pushing the narrative. What's 2 different narratives? Let's see. Here's one narrative. Oh, who could this be? ICE raided their city, taking parents, spouses, and friends. That's not where it ends. These families in Los Angeles on the devastating aftermath of ICE detentions and deportations that overwhelmed their city. Not our city, their city. And this is from The Guardian. How many times have you seen posts from The Guardian? There it is. Guardians of who? Last summer, Angelenos began to vanish. Angelenos, okay? They're called illegal immigrants. Armed, masked immigration agents. This was today. Pluck people off the street corners and out of their workplaces, in parking lots and department stores. They have no business in our country. Partners and primary breadwinners. Partners. Grandparents and children, car washeros, and coffee shop regulars. Oh, I'm here illegally and I ain't got no job. I'm just going to hang out in a coffee shop. Were arrested, detained, and deported, disappearing from their neighborhoods, probably on Medicaid, Social Security, housing, SNAP. Families still living under the shadows of those raids, sorting through the emotional administrative aftermath. They're filing paperwork to bring deported relatives back to the U.S. Good luck with that. Suppressing flashbacks to the chaos. They got shrinks in whatever country you're from. Go see a shrink. They witnessed last year figuring out school pickups. Oh, we're paying for multilingual teachers with one parent missing, rebuilding daily routines without a loved one. Everybody can join together as one big happy family in your own damn country. And if you had a child here and you were both here illegally, that's a counterfeit citizen. Well, here's another picture the Guardians of who put up. You see, that'll give them flashbacks. The innocent people, the coffee shop regulars, the car washeros. And what does it say underneath? Marines and National Guard members during a rally against ICE raids at the federal building in Los Angeles on 4th of July, 2025. Using a year-old picture. Los Angeles Times. To make it seem like that's what they were doing. Too bad they weren't taking Marines in there to round everybody up and get rid of them. Here. We're all supposed to lose sleep over this guy. I'm not losing any sleep over him. Where'd he go? There he is. Who is it? Mario. What's the scenario, Mario? a father of 3. Yeah, coming over here making magic U.S. citizens. Was arrested at the car wash where he worked during the ICE raids in Los Angeles, California. Go wash cars in Guatemala or wherever you're from. So that's one thing the Guardian put up. What else did they put up? Robert Reich. How many times y'all heard me talk about him? I called him a malignant dwarf. Malignant dwarf. I didn't get every screenshot from this because it pukes me out. But I just wanted to show you the Guardian. The economy, foreign policy, and immigration are all going poorly for Donald Trump. I don't think so. I think our foreign policy is doing great. We're getting rid of a 47-year-old danger. Immigration, great. We closed down the border. We're getting millions of them out. The economy's doing great. Eggs are cheap. Oil is the same price it was before the conflict started and lower than Joe Biden. What are they doing? They're pushing communism. Watch. Listen to this. So now he's scrambling before the midterms, writes former U.S. Labor Secretary and Guardian columnist Robert Reich. For years, Donald Trump has been trying to scare Americans about Democrats who advocate Medicare for all, universal child care, free public higher education, and higher taxes on the super wealthy to pay for them, all of which the rising young Democrats are advocating. But he hasn't gotten anywhere because these initiatives are supported by most Americans. So now he's throwing scary labels at the wall and seeing what sticks. What's the scary label he's talking about? Communism. It's not a label. It's a description. This is still him talking. Communism was a scare word used after the First and Second World Wars to crack the whip on the left. Communism is a nightmare, okay? It's a murderous, thieving nightmare. Tyrannical nightmare. It provoked the witch hunts and ruined careers. Well, it's going to ruin a lot more. It made the former Wisconsin Senator Joe McCarthy a one-man bomb squad in the early 50s. I said a dozen times, if I said it once, we owe Joe McCarthy an apology because he was right. When he forced Americans to name names and ridiculed the pitiful squealing of those egg-sucking phony liberals. Exactly. Who would hold sacrosanct those communists and coup-eaters. Yeah. So the Guardian's sticking up for people in this country illegally all on the same day and putting up pro-communism garbage from Robert Reich, who served, I use that term loosely, as Bill Clinton's labor secretary. And I don't even think he gets to 5 feet tall. I'm not kidding. I think he's like 4'9" or something like that. That's why I call him the malignant dwarf, which was the nickname given to Goebbels in the Adolf administration in Germany, right? In Germany. Here you go. Here you go. Put this up on your meta page, folks. The man who damns money has obtained it dishonorably. The man who respects it has earned it. Ayn Rand, the Atlas Society. Let's see. I got to see what's going on in the chats. I might have had a commie come in here I need to talk to, straighten out. We get any commies in here? I got to watch that word. I'm sure it gets... No, we hadn't got any commies in here. Well, if you got anybody in here, you want to talk to me, be civil, I'll talk to you. Just don't be like this guy. Well, you can be like this guy if you want to, but I don't recommend it. Who is this guy? Does he look familiar to you? Hold on to your hats, folks. This is pretty gross. Christine Aguaya. We're dealing with, well, his name is Christopher Pedden. Pedden allegedly walked into a garage and used a kitchen KNIFE to cut off his own pee-pee, according to his lawyer, David Feltz. Pedden then reportedly placed the severed organ on the floor, poured gasoline on it from a container, and set it ablaze using 4 lighters. He later told police what had happened. The disturbing incident has left many in the community shocked and searching for answers of what led to such a drastic act. What do you think would drive someone to do something like this? I don't know. Ask Lance Twiggs. Or what's his name? The one that is on trial right now. Who the hell knows? What? Remember this? I know this happened a couple of days ago, but Tim Walz smacked down, overruled by Trump administration after pardoning the migrant rapist, right? You know, I said, just because Walz pardoned him, the left was saying, it's like he never can't deport him. Bull. Right here he is. Right here he is. Was he a car wash area, or did he hang out in a coffee shop? DHS releases photo of child rapist pardoned by Tim Walz as Rubio deports him. You know, those cops got to be disciplined. Really disciplined. How could you not want to, never mind. Trust and safety. But anyway. Yeah, Rubio, like I said, that doesn't abrogate any ability of the U.S. government to exercise its prerogatives. Jihadists shocked after Marco Rubio revokes their visas for chanting death to America. And you know what? I've said it and said it and said it. They need to go through, especially people working for the government, go through social media and just get rid of these people that are posting patently obnoxious crap, vile crap. Even Piers Morgan put up, seeing the despicably cruel, heartless, and abusive way that many people in UK and US have responded to the deaths of conservative politicians Anne Widdecombe and Lindsey Graham reminds me that the least kind people on earth, ironically, are those on the be kind woke left. People like that should not hold any position of power or responsibility in the government. Put the fries in a bag, be a malcontent somewhere else. A miscreant, misfit, and malcontent. You know, this lady left something out. Right here. She got most of it right, but she left something out. See if you can see what she left out. Mrs. B. At Attack Dog X. There are 10 million Muslims mayors in America. There are 92 Muslims serving on city councils across America. There are 33 Muslims in state houses of representatives. There are 13 Muslims serving as state senators. There are 4 Muslims serving in the House of Representatives. Any number of zeros above 0 is too many. What's she missing? See if anybody gets it in the chats. I don't know. Let me see. Let me see. What happened, Greg? You know, I'll tell you what. We had a president that had no scandals. Oh. Yeah, well, that's going nowhere, Todd. Tim Walsh's history. I'll tell you what she left out. Judges. How many Muslims are judges? I don't care, state or federal. But here's a president who never had a scandal with a woman like Trump had or Kavanaugh had. Right here. Put this on your Meta page. Not one woman ever accused Barack Obama of having sex with them. Yeah, UK's a mess. There he is. The fairy president. Here you go. Here you go. I told those Democrats, now it's coming out in memes, they're replacing you dopey Democrats. Ha ha ha. I don't know, Miss Minister. The commies have got a way of getting you out of the picture, so to speak. Is this true? Is this something you can put on your Meta that's true? 13,000 Americans in 2024 lost their lives to illegal immigrants. The total number of homicides in 24 was 20,162. That's 64%. Boy, that's enough Americans to swing an election. Wouldn't you say? They want chaos. Communism thrives on poverty and chaos. Oregon governor signs bill removing reading, writing, and math requirements for high school graduation to help students of color. I was going to call her Jane Hathaway look-like, but that's an insult to Jane Hathaway. You remember Miss Hathaway on the Beverly Hillbillies? Mrs. Hathaway. Wait a minute. Here's what I was talking about earlier. Trump administration subpoenas Times journalist, New York Times, who reported security concerns around new Air Force One. 4 New York Times journalists, who reported on security concerns surrounding a Qatari gifted jet serving as a new Air Force one have been subpoenaed by the Justice Department. That's serious business. You're talking about the safety, all right, the life of the President of the United States. Where'd you get your information? Was it a bunch of drummed up crap to instigate a situation where Trump would have to use the old Air Force One to diminish his ability to show you the unity I discussed with Muslim nations and to project power, to reduce him to a 40-year-old plane through a bunch of made-up garbage? Or did you actually hear credible information about the president being in danger and you're not telling the appropriate authorities? Either one of those two scenarios is bad news for somebody. Trying to meddle in the foreign policy of the United States, slow the president down, complicates the situation with fear-mongering and false reports, or you're getting information from somebody who's leaking that shouldn't be leaking. You're getting illegal classified information. Well, what's the story? What about this? Democrats warn of a Trump election takeover. What's really happening? Democrats are reaching DEFCON 1. I was going to put that in my thumbnail, but as I said, I'm not a clickbaiter. But this is the way they're thinking. If the Save America Act passes and the elections are overseen by the National Guard or the military and or law enforcement and some U.S. Marshals, they're going to get blown out of the House and the Senate, and they know it. So it is DEFCON 1. Levels of alarm about President Donald Trump's efforts to influence the coming election. Some bonehead named Zachary B. Wolf. Making sure there's no illegal aliens voting. Make sure there's no dead people voting. That's influencing. So the loony left is going to say, oh, it's insurrection. He's trying to influence the election. He's not going to let us cheat. Where's that report from Clandestine? Said eyes on. Let me see. Don't forget this, folks. For one, Trump fired the, I think he mentions it. He fired all these so-called election experts or committees that were appointed by Democrats. Eyes on. A few days ago, a leaked FBI internal memo, this is from Clandestine, revealed they're sending 260 plus agents to Fulton County in response to the raid in January pertaining to the fraud in 2020 election. That's a lot of agents. The memo states a July 17th deadline. So we're expecting some sort of movement by then, and Democrat officials are preparing for all outcomes to include criminal charges. In the internal memo, the FBI called this a priority investigation. And given the presence of DNI Gabbard in the first raid, it is believed that this case is related to the grand conspiracy probe as well. Don't forget, folks, There's RICO cases over this. Racketeering and influence corrupt organization. Trump has been quietly setting the stage to tell the world the truth about the fraud in the 2020 election. We are getting close, and if there's to be a meaningful impact before the midterms, it has to happen soon. For all the people who say nothing is happening, you continue to be wrong. Yeah, he's sending 260 plus agents up there, not for nothing. Flashback to 9/22/25, less than 2 weeks after Charlie was assassinated by Antifa-influenced terrorists. Trump signs an executive order designating Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization. Trump and his administration were telling us this the entire time. I'm starting to think that all these insane conspiracy theories weren't just an accident or a grift. I think they might have been artificially amplified to draw attention away from the actual culprits, Antifa and the Dems' mainstream media. I don't think the hysteria over the last 10 months was 100% real. A large chunk of that was not organic. I think it was a psychological operation to deceive the American people and protect the Dems' brown shirts, a.k.a. Antifa. So if you're one of those people still pushing nonsense about Israel or whatever else, congratulations. You're literally aiding and abetting left-wing terrorist organizations who are seeking to overthrow the United States. An intricate web. Voter fraud. Assassinations. Screwing up a foreign trip through misreporting, misinformation, disinformation. We'll never let Donald Trump put his name on the Kennedy Center. We'll never let Donald Trump have a ballroom. We'll never let Donald Trump fly in that airplane. Everything they can try to stop him at. Was the New York Times, their reporting, was that done to deprive the President of the United States of the use of that plane to diminish him? One thought. But here's the report that Clandestine put up with the election raid in Georgia.
From the FBI reveals just how much manpower the agency is calling on to investigate the 2020 election in Fulton County. Hundreds of agents have been assigned to the case with a mysterious July 17th deadline.
Yeah, July 17th. So Atlanta News First political reporter Doug Reardon is live for us outside the county government center in downtown Atlanta. July 17th. Doug, what happens then?
That's the mystery, guys. The memo doesn't explicitly say, but it does say that over 260 FBI personnel will be coming here to Fulton County to review hundreds and hundreds of documents tied to that January seizure of ballots from the 2020 election. It is by far the clearest picture of the scope of this investigation that we have gotten to date. The leaked internal FBI memo shows the agency is dedicating 260 agents to combing through documents seized back in January in a surprise raid of Fulton County's elections headquarters. The memo notes the FBI personnel will be poring over 700 documents with the July 17th deadline.
We don't really know what the July 17th deadline is about. It seems arbitrary, but because they put it out there, it feels like they will have to come out with something on the 18th. Fulton County Commissioner Dana Barrett, a Democrat, says the county should be prepared for anything, whether it be the FBI's potential findings or the announcement of criminal charges. There's a lot to still be concerned about. We can't let our guard down. On a recent episode of On the Record, Fulton County Election Supervisor Nadine Williams declined to comment on the FBI's communication with her department over the case. Have you been communicated with at all about that?
Well, that's pending litigation, so I'm not able to comment on that.
The county did see a legal win this week. On Tuesday, a Trump-appointed judge threw out a Department of Justice subpoena seeking the personal information, names, phone numbers, even addresses for all of Fulton County's 2020 poll workers. To Commissioner Barrett, it says a lot.
That they don't have free reign and free access to any data they want as it relates to elections. So I think this is a really good, maybe even a watershed moment in terms of changing where we go in this elections fight.
Some election groups that still have concerns about the 2020 election were frustrated with the ruling, though. Garland Favorito, president of Voter GA, told us, quote, "It is obvious to most informed Georgians that Fulton County has been involved in an ongoing conspiracy. Given the potential criminal activity involved, the court's ruling currently stands as a threat to the rights of every Georgia voter, and we expect the DOJ to appeal it." And we know this is of the utmost importance to the FBI. In that internal memo, they called this case a priority investigation. We will just have to wait and see what happens come July 17th. Outside of the Fulton County Government Center in downtown Atlanta, Doug Reardon, Atlanta News.
So now the gloves are off. Remember that phrase, folks? So now the gloves are off. Okay, talk all that stuff you want about, well, we don't have access to it. We don't know what you're talking about. She said July 16th deadline. I don't know. I know it's close. Okay, you hear any other news reporting on it? No. But how about with those 260 plus agents, anybody lying to a federal agent, that's a felony. Obstruction of justice, tampering with evidence, breaking the federal election laws by not preserving things required to be preserved. Those charges are going to be flying. And yes, can judges be charged with obstruction? They can be charged with a lot of things. Even though Hannah Dana Dugan didn't get her time like she should have. Yeah, I put it. Thanks for. I put it in, and then I forgot I put it in. But I put my link to buy me a coffee in the chats, and kaboom! If anybody appreciates my efforts and would like to stop by, buy me a coffee, I would greatly appreciate that. Like Robin did. She stopped by, kaboom! And KNS cleanup this evening, kaboom! And Wayne last night, kaboom, kaboom! And Mike and Bev, pow! I'm glad they're back from their little trip and hope they had a good time. And Miss Menderson, where's my big booze at? She left a Moab, kapow, 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 at Buy Me a Coffee. Like I said, a link in the chats around the 125 mark, 22 mark, something like that. So anyway, you can stop by the page and check it out. You don't need to do anything. See how it works and whether or not you want to contribute to the channel. So anyway, here's something else for your meta page. I can't believe how stupid people are. I shook my head after we elected Barack Hussein Obama after 9/11. And now here we are. With this Zohran Mamdani. I could see, Clandestine put in one of the posts, just the whole day, well, most of the Democrat Party, just being part of a terrorist organization. Here, look at this psycho here. How about that? Huh? Guess what she's going to do? Elizabeth Warren has a plan. Who put this up? Reason TV. To, quote, save Social Security from upcoming benefit cuts. And all it will require is sacrificing a huge chunk of the economy. How many people are in this country unlawfully and benefiting from Social Security in some form or another? Social Security disability, Social Security payments, stolen Social Security numbers, dead people's Social Security. Hundreds of millions of dollars going out. and now she wants to save it. Her plan would be to fix Social Security would be the largest tax increase in over 40 years. These people are criminals with a smile. Criminals with a smile. I guess I got to get into it. Mitch McConnell. What do y'all think about this? Trump, I have no idea how he's doing. When asked about Mitch McConnell's health, this is from the New York Post, and he said this after Scott Jennings was on TV. And I guess many of you have seen this. Wait a minute. Here. Many of you have seen this picture, haven't you? What's the clickbaiting? What's the story's going to be? Boy, the clickbaiters got a lot to work with now. Lindsey Graham passing away. McConnell releases public statement on his health emergency that landed him in the hospital. Well, the stories are now this is an AI picture. Oh, wait a minute. No, the other story is this was taken in 2023. It's not a current photo. That's the stories. Let's see. Real America's Voice put up, Senator Mitch McConnell, Republican Kentucky, on Sunday released a public statement addressing his health status after emergency landed him in the hospital since June 14th. McConnell said in the statement that a fall led to his current hospitalization. I won't be able to return to the Senate floor to vote quite yet. Now, to be fair, I saw somebody doing an analysis of the video of him leaving the home on a stretcher. And they said, well, his bare feet are sticking out from under the blankets. And we don't see a respirator on him. Was he alive? Why would his bare feet be sticking out from under the blankets? And how come there's no respirator? If he was breathing, they'd put a respirator on him. If he was having a heart attack and still alive, he must have been dead, leaving his feet sticking out. I mean, stuff like that. Do a 20-minute video on his feet and no respirator. Well, maybe he had a fall and didn't need a respirator. I don't know. McConnell's office had disclosed limited information up until this point. Kentucky's Democratic Governor Andy Beshear had to provide a public health update. McConnell also released a photo with his wife Elaine Chao, the former Secretary of Transportation under President Trump, the first term. So, listen, if this was a 2023 photo that could very easily be pulled up, very easily, the internet does not forget. One of the AI, there's Grok and there's something else, ChatGPT, and there's something else. But one of the three said, oh, yes, it's an AI picture. But the other one didn't. Okay? So, I'm going to roll with it and see how Trump handles it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to roll with it and see how Trump handles it. Because things are going to get handled. Here he is again. There's the turtle man. McConnell, 84, said in a statement he has undergone a battery of tests as doctors try to determine what led to his fall. He explained the long silence about his condition by saying, folks from our generation often hesitate to share the vulnerability that comes with growing older. But here's a bit of good news. Remember this guy? How many times did he file against Trump to be impeached? He's a guy from India. Okay, I said he should be mopping in front of the Slurpee machine at 7-Eleven. If he's even allowed this country at all. Look at his eyebrows. Those are, now, I don't think I'm being conspiracy. Do they look like he drew his eyebrows on? I mean, why would you draw eyebrows on? Anyway, here's the good news about him. Bad Hombre put up, want to laugh? Current polling shows Indian Congressman Sri Thanedar on track to lose his primary on August 13th by a Liz Cheney-sized margin. Imagine filing 7 articles of impeachment against Trump and still getting kicked out of the party for not being extreme enough. They're falling apart. I haven't even got to the war updates. Russia's bombing the hell out of Odessa and other parts in Ukraine. Ukraine sent 400 drones towards Russia, and Russia's already shot down about 1,000 of them. And Iran's getting the hell beat out of them, and they can't do nothing about it. But anyway, here's a little video from Trump.
I stand by the Declaration of Independence, which is a great honor. I keep hearing so much about TikTok and all of the influence they have, and that how it's unfair and how it's this and that. But here's the only problem. I'm #1 on TikTok. Can you believe it? I'm #1. Look at those numbers. Billions and billions of people are looking at Trump. And I keep hearing about the influence other people have. I don't know. How come I'm #1 if they have so much influence? Here's your number, so I think we have influence too. And I'm saying, stop communism.
#1 on TikTok, billions of views. So what he's saying is it can't be that bad. TikTok can't be that bad. Shamar Prophet, how are you doing? I just call you Shamar. Who else I miss? Is that a woman? I don't know. Dirt Squirt. Nice to meet you, Dirt Squirt. Russia's got a lot of industry, especially in Siberia, about their weapons. Those drones, I mean, they got literal weed eater engines, 4 of them bolted together. They're one-way drones. They get where they're going and kaboom, and you don't have to worry about changing the oil. Yeah, oh my God. Is Roland here? Roland. What's going on in Canada, Roland? Toronto police actually posted this. What? What did they post? Why would the Toronto police post this? What would you think if your local police station had all this crap hanging around?
Contacted by the Crown at the Ontario Court of Justice to assist with the case that they had. So they asked me to reach out to the victim and make sure she's safe and take her home.
He drove me home in the fabulous Pride SUV. And as he was driving me home, we reached a stoplight, and then an individual in a pickup truck came up to us.
A transgender cop car. Look at that. Are you guys cops, or you just identify as cops? That's none of your business, and I'm hands-free, so there's nothing you can do. I'm just asking you a question, Sergeant. Are you cops, or you identify as cops? I have no idea. That reality doesn't exist anymore, right?
Part of me was shocked, but part of me was not shocked. I am a trans woman. I've been transitioning for 8 years. I get harassed and vilified every day of my
I don't know what that's all about. Free ride in a cop car if you're a tranny. Anyway, Iran says the Strait of Hormuz is closed. CENTCOM put out statements. They said they bombed an American base. Here's some statements from Central Command. Iranian propaganda claimed today that 3 American service members were killed in Kuwait by strikes from Iran. False. Truth, there are 0 reports of U.S. service member deaths or injuries in the region. All personnel are accounted for. So that's one thing. And the other one was here. CENTCOM. Oh, and they put up a third one that Dan Scarino reposted. Wait a second. There we go. This is the second one. Or one of the first 2. The Strait of Hormuz is open to all vessels seeking to lawfully transit the international waterway. U.S. forces are positioned and prepared to ensure that freedom of navigation remains available despite unwarranted Iranian aggression, harassment, threats, and arbitrary declarations. Iran does not control the strait. Traffic is flowing. I wish they'd use the word piracy. Pirates. Thanks, KNS. Thank you for staying with me, buddy. I do appreciate it. Ha ha ha. Yeah, whatever Trump's doing, I'm doing with this stuff. Man, all this stuff here, we're here at the end of the show. You know, here's the other thing that I'm saying there's going to be arrests. We got the election thing. Jack Smith's team may have disclosed classified info while accusing Trump of doing the same. Trump posted before Lindsey Graham died, just before. He posted that Jack Smith's team was doing exactly what they accused him of doing. In other words, exactly what they prosecuted Trump for and raided and searched his home. Just because they were so-called investigators doesn't mean that they violated national security and committed felonies by leaving papers out. Here we go. Classified papers in violation of the law, which would carry significant jail time. Jack Smith's team may have exposed classified info while probing Trump for allegedly doing the same. That can be determined relatively quickly. If that's the case, people will go to jail. No babies. Here you go, folks. Whoa, wait a second. Let's see if they do this around the country. Indiana Lieutenant Governor demands ban on mosques blaring the Muslim call to prayer. Yes, 100% I want to ban mosques in America from blaring the Muslim call to prayer through loudspeakers 5 times a day. Man, do that in my ear when I'm trying to sleep. I'll give you a snack bar real quick. I got this video I want y'all to see. This guy's running for mayor. Italian mayoral candidate forcibly removes migrant from blocking traffic. Giuseppe Barboni, let's keep his name in mind. Giuseppe Barboni is a real candidate for mayor of San Benedetto del Taranto, a coastal town in the Marche region of Italy. Oh, Italiano. Ha ha ha. So they got somebody with some guts running for mayor. Let's see, what is he, a Moroccan? Let me guess which one's which. But anyway, let's see how he removes this unwanted individual. Yeah, thank you, Governor of Indiana. It's all been exposed. Whoa, all been exposed. That's right. So anyway, folks, I'm going to play this quick video, and I hope you enjoy it. And what do I always say? I say thank you for spending your precious time with me. Thank you to my new viewers. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. It helps the video get around. And while the video is playing, I will put my link up to buy me a coffee. And if anybody wants to help support the channel, I do appreciate it. And what do I always say? I say thank you for spending your precious time with me. And I hope you all have a great evening. I should be broadcasting tomorrow night, but if you're subscribed, you'll know when I go live. So why don't you go ahead and do that, get it taken care of. Ha, ha, ha. You all have a great night. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
Io follow you. Io ci rispetto con ti canale. E non toccarmi, cazzo. Vai, Giuseppe. Guarda Giuseppe. Oggi io torno con
Oh, ma levatelo di peso questo!
Scusami, settimi prima. Questo è il numero 8, di dopo di stoppa. Che vuole Giuseppe? Io follow you. Io rispetto. Io mi seguo, non toccarmi.
Ma stai facendo questa macchina?
Non toccarmi, Giuseppe, vai via. Giuseppe, vai via. Giuseppe, vai via, io non toccare tu. Io libera qua in Italia, sì? Scoppa tu, vai via. In Italia non c'è rispetto. Io 4 anni qua lavoro cartongesso. Oggi police locali. No. Oggi police locali.
Andiamo a parlare
andiamo a parlare. Ma qualcuno tu e madre. Scusa, io parlo tu perché io vino qua.
È uguale che non la fine vieni qua. Da.
Tranquilla? Oh, cazzo, vai via.
Dai.
No, tu non posso sentire. Io lascio il mio paese prima, in Babilonia.
Babilonia, sì. Ma Babilonia me lo puoi dire qua. Ma me lo puoi dire qua lo stesso.
Mi piace fare perché sta qua, devi prendere, senti. Tu Giuseppe, no, arrivando là. Giuseppe, tu una cazzo, Ehi, Giuseppe, tu una cazzo, guarda, una cazzo, e vai via.
Ah, Giuseppe.
Non guardati bene, forza! Coglione, vai! Vai!
Basta!